So next thing we're going to get to is going to affect a lot of people that are real estate owners. So if you own a property, pay attention. If it's a single family home, 1 to 4 units, right? 5 units or more is typically considered commercial. They definitely class you differently. But if you're single family, you own up to 4 units. So it could be a quadplex, triplex, duplex, or it sounds like 4 single individual family homes. You can qualify for a forbearance, right? You got to reach out. First thing is, one, is it federally backed loan, federally rated or federally backed? You got to reach out to your mortgage company, right? And I can imagine that there's going to be long hold times on your mortgage companies. Just go ahead and plan for that. Yeah. But get in line. But as a 1 to 4 unit, you can get up to 90 days, right? Which means that it's possible not to make a mortgage payment for up to 90 days. And then there's a 90-day extension possible, as to my knowledge right now. So literally, you could go 3 to 6 months without having to have a mortgage payment.
Which is very helpful.
Extremely.
Yeah.
And again, these aren't guaranteed. You need to look at it. And then if you have more than 5 units, so let's say you have a small apartment complex, you can go through the same process, reach out to your mortgage company. You can get a forbearance for 30 days at a time. Now, the crazy part with the apartment complex is it looks like you have to re-notify them every 15 days. So when you first apply, they're going to give you 30 days. 15 days prior to the end of that 30 days, you got to let them know that you need another month, right? And as of right now, it looks like to me you can only do a 30 plus 30, so they can give you 2 months. So the government here is incentivizing. They're saying, hey, look, what I'm getting from this is people that own 5 units plus, those are typically like small apartment complexes. Those people are probably more apt and more capable of handling this, whereas people that own single-family homes up to 4 units are probably going to be a little harder affected. And I think that's why they're giving more consideration to those people that maybe have one home or that has multi-unit. So I feel like that's what it at. But here's the key. When you first of all, don't just stop making your mortgage payments, right? Because it will crash your credit.
Also, people that have these duplexes or quadplexes, it's likely that their tenants are going to receive enough relief to keep paying their rent.
That's right.
So they may not have an issue.
No, that's right. And again,
I think this is better for people
don't use it if you don't need it. This comes back to this whole thing. Like, there are benefits out there. It's like you have, for me, it'd be like, hey, I own a successful business, but I go out and apply for food stamps. That doesn't make any sense.
No. Yeah.
Just because there's a benefit available, if you don't need it, don't use it, because other people do need it.
Now, if you have a decent-sized mortgage and your pay is cut in half, even with the incentives, then maybe you need it.
Yeah, and it's a temporary thing to help you get through. I agree completely. So here's the key, though. You got to call in advance. Don't just stop making your payments, and then 6 months from now, when you're evicted, or 3 months from now, when you're gone and they foreclosed on your house, go, wait a second, I didn't think I had to pay my mortgage. You have to ask for it, right?
Right. Yeah, they're not going. It's not a given.
No, it's a forbearance, but you have to ask for it.
You have to be responsible.
Be a responsible adult. Reach out, do your due diligence. But here's the kicker: listen, man. In life, it's all a negotiation, but we got to get it in writing.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it has to be in writing, or it's not real.
No, it doesn't exist. Yeah. I don't care what they tell you on the phone. You got to get it in writing, right? So what that also means is we need to listen. The money just doesn't disappear. You still legally owe that mortgage payment, right? So what happens?
It's still your liability.
It's still a liability. So we need to negotiate how we're going to repay it, right? I would suggest that you say, hey, let's use the single family option, and you say, hey, I'm getting 90 days worth of forbearance. Let's just take 3 months and add it back on at the end, right? So if I owed 270 months, then I'm not going to pay for the next 3 payments. So instead of owing 267, I'm going to owe 270. Yeah. So I still owe 270. Let's just tack it back on. Let's just
you're just pushing it down.
Let's just push it out, right? Let's just add. I think that's the best option.
I think so too. Yeah.
There's going to be another option. They're going to allow you to make installment payments. So let's use an example of $1,000 a month. So you missed 3 months worth of payments. They give you a forbearance for 3 months worth of payments, equivalent of $3,000, and they say, hey, let's take the $3,000. Let's add $300 a month to your payment over the next 10 months, right? At some point in the future.
Yeah.
So they're getting their $3,000 back.
And then you're caught back up to the original schedule.
You're caught back up, and maybe that's an option for people, right? Maybe it is. I think that's the second best option. And if you're
probably not, I would say if you're probably trying to extend your mortgage, you probably can't afford that extra.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to get at. That may be better for people that are trying to get help that really don't need it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. And the third one is going to be, which I do not suggest. I think be very careful about this, but they're going to give you a 3-month, 2-month, 3-month, 4-month, 5-month, 6-month forbearance, depending on how you apply, and then say at the end. So let's say in month 4 you owe all of it at one time, right? Lump sum. I think that's a terrible idea. I think that's now some of these mortgage companies might not allow you to.
That's going to cause a lot of.
Oh, it is.
Well, I mean, most likely they could refinance to that point.
Yeah, but I think that this is.
But not necessarily.
It's kind of a dirty little trick, and I can't pick on one mortgage company because I don't see anybody doing it. But I'm cautious here because what if they only give you the option? Look, we're gonna give you forbearance, a 3-month forbearance, but in the 4th month, you owe all of it, right? All that does is delay.
This creates another problem.
It does.
Think. Yeah.
And then they say, hey, guess what? We're going to rework your loan. I feel like this goes down a bad path. Hey, we're going to rework your loan. Today, this is what you have to do. And in 4 months, if you can't pay it, that's okay. But I think what happens in 4 months.
Then if you can't get qualified
in
4 months, then you're maybe out of a house.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, hey, don't worry, we're going to work your loan. But you got to be late for you to qualify for any of us to relook at it. And then now you're crashing your credit. See, I just feel like there's this deadly path to go down. So, hey, guess what? It's better to negotiate the terms of the forbearance up front and get it in writing.
Right.
So you don't have a question mark in 3 months or 4 months, et cetera.
Yeah, and do make sure that they're not reporting you as past due.
That's an awesome point.
You
get that in writing.
It would be better to struggle
than
to ruin your credit.
No, if they're going to report you as current, that's a great point. You need to get it in writing. They're going to report you as current so it doesn't affect your credit negatively.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Almost just freezes your account for 3 months.
Let me ask you, what do you think about people that are in the middle of like a refi right now?
I mean, it's probably a good thing to do if you can do it. If you have good credit and you can refinance your house, it's a good way to have more resources available.
Yeah.
Because we really don't know how long this will last. It could last 1 month. It's most likely 2 months.
Yeah.
But we could get to the end of the 2 months, and then they're going to tack another month on. So then then it gets really rough.
That's right. And
I guess if you refinance your house, you can technically still get the 60 to 90 days.
Right. Or even up to
up to 180, right?
180, yeah.
Yeah.
So in theory, if you can refi and take advantage of the lower interest rates right now, and I think they're lower, but they're not as low as they're going to be. And part of that's just a liquidity issue, right, for buying paper, essentially, with these banks are trying to move loans. But I feel like the rates are down, but they're actually going to get lower.
Well, that's true. It's probably a good time to refinance anyway because the rates are dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would imagine the rates will be really low after this.
Yeah, and most of the time, if you're refinancing, you time it right, you can miss a payment, legally miss a payment there without consequence, and then if things still aren't where they need to be, then you might be able to qualify for forbearance for 3 to 6 months. So it could be a really good time to kind of reposition. And again, these are what we were talking about. We're like, hey, if you guys are at home, you shouldn't be binge watching Netflix. You should be trying to figure out solutions to things going on in your life. And just the things we've talked about so far. There's a lot of things that people can do to be proactive about helping fix their own situation.